Hey Cancer, this is your June 24 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, you might find that these messages support you as you move through the next few weeks. Happy solar returns if you've got a birthday this month. It's Romy here. Thank you for joining me on the channel. So we're going to open up with the Eight of Wands for your month ahead. You are remembering in June that how your life feels is far more important than how it looks. And you're drawing a line, you know, as we move through Gemini season. There is so much going on behind the scenes, and there's this real sort of sacred healing experience that I see happening. You are looking far lighter, and I think that's because you are choosing and coming to terms with like this letting go that I think, you know, maybe you've been dancing with for a while. We might have had to carry some of this with us as we navigated some of the new chapters and the new pathways that were opening up in our life. But as we move into this first week of June, Mercury shifts into Gemini. We've got this beautiful Venus cazimi on the 4th, where Venus will conjunct with the Sun, and there's this incredibly powerful, influential, warm, tender energy that's also supporting us as we build to a new moon in Gemini that has a whole stellium of planets in the sign. And so there's this true feeling of there being a fresh start. And for you, you know, with that 12th house energy, you know, the way in which you've had to make decisions perhaps sometimes has left some sadness, you know, but that doesn't mean that the decisions that you made were wrong, Cancer. You know, sometimes we feel sad because it took us so long to get to that point. Sometimes we feel sad because we realize life is going to be changing so much, you know, from this point onwards. And, you know, you need to remember you're only ever living the life that you create for yourself. And so your boldness this month and your ability to really be devoted to the things that truly matter to you in June do pay off beautifully for you. So in this first week of the month, I feel it's very healing. I feel it's very cathartic. I think you've truly come to terms with something. I think there's an opportunity, especially, you know, between the 4th and the 6th, to really put something to bed, lay something to rest. And perhaps that involves an important conversation or news or information that makes its way towards you. And then it kind of gives you the green light, if you like, to be able to tackle something. Or, you know, there's just like a sorting out energy I feel that goes on. You do feel lighter. That 8 of Wands suggests it. We've also got the 4 coming in here, almost like a restoring of balance in one area of your life. And I think you're choosing to not get caught up in any of the drama or the external noise that's going on. You're definitely doing your thing in the month of June, and there's so much new things coming in that they're demanding this different version of you. And you know in yourself the adjustments that you're going to have to make. So there's almost an ask of you in Gemini season, first part of June, to kind of prepare the ground, if you like, to put the necessary foundations in place. You know, things have already started to move in a certain direction, and you're feeling in more purposefully and with more clarity through the month of June, like what that means for you or exactly what it's asking of you. And, you know, that's an exciting place to be. Although at the same time, you know, we're continuing to experience these triggers, right? The triggers come by way of sacred initiation, and sometimes what ends up happening is that they land and they feel in some regard that they're asking us to deal with something that we have wanted to avoid or we've been trying our best to distance ourselves from. And yet, you know, it feels that in order to have to move forward, we now have to deal with this. But it feels like it may be pulling us away from our intended plan or the things that we want to devote our energy to, or even sort of coming in as if it's trying to kind of rain on our parade a little bit. That's not the case, you know. Do bear in mind around the 11th of the month we've got Mars squaring with Pluto, and what gets pulled up here is this energy of power and fear, and we're challenged. And as Pluto's retrograde, it's going on within us. And so one of the questions that you want to be asking yourself around this day, and as I said, it pertains to the fact that you feel like you're moving, things are feeling lighter, and all of a sudden there's something that comes in to kind of draw a halt to that. What's keeping me small? Where am I not using my power? Where do I feel suppressed in that energy? Her wings are clipped, if you like, by being enclosed within the cage, but the cage door is open. So there's something going on with you that means that how you are perceiving it, or the way that you are letting something affect or influencing you, is also what the universe wants to draw your attention towards. And even though you may feel personally like this has come at such a bad time, or this is taking me away from where I'm trying to get, or the progress I've been making, actually, if you allow yourself to kind of sit and resolve the energy that's going on here and look at the stressors, look at the way that the anxiety is impacting you, there is a direct kind of connecting of the dots, if you like, in the bigger scheme to get you exactly where you're meant to be. So the big plan is still in motion. Everything is still as it's meant to be, okay? And I think for you this month, Cancer, there's definitely a feeling that this next solar returns, like, you're going to do things differently. You made a lot of promises to yourself. And I think, as we make our way through June, and particularly up to this beautiful solstice energy and the sun shifting into your sign on the 20th, there's a reset that happens here. Yeah. Now Venus shifts into your sign on the 16th, Mercury on the 17th. Beautiful energies for you to start having this conversation with cosmically that says, okay, I'm ready for this rebirth, this transformational phase in my life as death comes through. Remember, again, I feel like there are endings going on because of that stellium of energy in Gemini in your 12th. And so, it's an interesting month where you're kind of feeling all the feels of the beginnings and endings, and it feels like they're kind of merging and they're entangling within themselves. And it's difficult to know how you're supposed to feel at any given moment. That's okay. Just let it flow. Now, the day before solstice and sun in your sign, the asteroid goddess Vesta, taking care of our sacred inner flame, shifts into Leo. And so there is a restlessness here, and there's a hunger for really understanding the spiritual meaning, but there's also an ability to bring highly creative ideas and solutions forth, particularly as you address what has meaning and prioritization in your life, and how you remain the custodian and the caretaker of things that truly matter and are important to you. So it's a beautiful energy to kind of work with for solstice. We also, of course, on the 21st, and we'll be right in the energy of the full moon at solstice, have the first of two moons in Capricorn. So that full moon arriving on the 21st, and really bringing in actually quite a nice grounded energy and feel for you. There may be this realization again with the kind of encouragement of a soulful surrender during a full moon, particularly in your 7th house. So sometimes that shadow self, things that we don't want to look at but we have to let go of, we have to look and then release, so something perhaps a little bit uncomfortable, but at the same time you don't have to tackle it all at once. Remember, these are moons where there's going to be a second opportunity on the 21st of July to kind of complete something, okay? So it may be that something gets triggered or kicked off around that time. Queen of Cups, I love this for you. Of course, it speaks your language. It's helping you to lead with your heart, lead with your own intuitive understanding of what's going on here. You really are reading the room very powerfully through this month. And I think that also helps you to make choices and decisions that are going to be right for you, not just in the short term, but looking a little bit further down the line as well. We're preparing, of course, for Saturn to go retrograde in Pisces, fellow water sign, on the 29th. So there's that beginning of the slowdown happening with all of the planets starting to shift into retrograde energies now. But there's something about, I learned the lesson and I'm not going to go through this again. That's why I'm saying you're really choosing to do something differently. And June is the sort of really powerful beginning of that, because as you come into your solar returns at the end of the month, that's the catalyst, if you like, for you either expressing, publicly, making the promise or taking the action that's going to ensure that this time it does look different. But, you know, remember what I said, you know, how your life feels, Queen of Cups advocates for that, is more important than how it looks. So to the outside world, or even for you, if you perceived it in a certain way, things might feel really upside down. They might feel out of place, out of sync. You know, some things are working, other things are, you know, incredibly tough and challenging, and there seems to be not a lot of synergy or things necessarily syncing up in the timing that you would be hoping or looking for, and yet timelines are now all over the place. So there's an appreciation and understanding that actually instantaneous manifestation is also happening, you know, consistently now, and it's going to feel like you've got huge amounts of deja vu also taking place, you know, through this month of June as well. The Fool. We are embarking on something different. I do quite like there. I think there's been an adventurous feel that's kicked off in May, and it, you know, it travels through June as well. And sometimes it's hard to pinpoint exactly, you know, what that means and translate it into something that feels a little bit more tangible. But the feeling is there, right? You just know you're being pulled, or something new is forming or emerging for you. Everything feels very different in, you know, how you're looking at your life, thinking about what's possible, and so a lot of, as I said, this behind the scenes work that you do is very preparatory and helps to kind of create the scene. And we talked about how, you know, there was a building of momentum last month, but again, it could have felt quite frustrating as things were trying to align. You know, a little bit more of that sort of taking place in June, but you feeling far more like clear, and even if it not making logical sense, there's definitely this understanding that you're coming to, like working more personally and mindfully with your own higher self and your own spiritual practices, to just keep following the signposts and keep sort of flowing with what that sacred line of energy is trying to deliver and bring through for you. It's a beautiful month, I think, for you to really take stock and actually make some quite deliberate choices. And as I said, there's one thing that really matters this month, and you need to let yourself be devoted to what that one thing is. And that might mean that other things have to go on the back burner or just get put to the side temporarily, because it just feels like this one thing has the capacity and the promise to more immediately make a considerable difference to sort of your experiences right now in life and sort of what happens next, okay? And it's very tied up to sort of that energy that's coming through with death, because something is being epically transformed in your life, but it does require something from you. It's asking for your participation in it, and you may feel a bit split in your energy, but I feel like you've got to listen and kind of be fully on board with that in this month of June, okay? If you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended reading. Cancer, talk for another 30 minutes or so. We also look at a personal question and a relationship card. You'll find the link in the comment description box underneath. It's a way to support my work and enable me to keep showing up for the free portion of the readings, so hope you'll join me. We're just going to clarify the main spread now, just see the energies that are showing up to work with for that extended reading. We've got the Well coming through, and we've got Queen of Swords. What about this 4 of Wands? 9 of Pentacles. Now you can check out over on my website romywiser.com my sacred titles, which is my oracle deck and my book. You'll also find all my sacred soul support guided meditations. This month there's a new solstice, beautiful ritual to follow. So please do check out all of the creative tools that I've put together for you, journey, and also ways to work with me, yeah? So 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups came through. We got the King showing up here, and also the 4 of Cups. All right, what about death? We've got 6 of Cups here. Knight of Wands. How about this Queen? 2 of Wands, beautiful. I like that for you. Ace, lovely. And the Fool. 9 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, all the decks that I use are always listed in the comment and description box underneath, yeah? Right, we're going to have a quick look at some oracle cards for you as well for June Cancer. This is Life Soul Vision, my own deck. Please check it out if you are new to my channel. Soul Star energy, we've got root energy built from love. We've got honesty at the edge of quiet. Waves crash and stars fall. We've got the new moon. We've got Queen of Fire coming in here, Sacred Inner Flame, very Vesta-like for us as she shows up right around Solstice. And finally, another oracle for Cancer for the month of June. If you want to see where Vesta is in your own astrology chart, please check out my goddess reports. They're again over on the website, romywiser.com. You'll see your placement for Vesta. Okay. We've got the butterfly and we have change coming through. Okay, I hope you'll join me for the extended. We'll look at a personal and a relationship card question for you, as well as go deeper into this reading for the month ahead. Take good care. Enjoy Solstice. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.